Welcome, everyone, to this briefing brought to you by the Israel Defense and Security Forum, IDSF. In Hebrew, our name is Abitchonistim. IDSF is the leading Israeli organization advocating for strong national security to defend Israel. Yesterday, for those of you who tuned in, I gave you a heads up on what we're speaking about today. So let me reiterate. What does it mean to have strong national security here in Israel? What does it mean to advocate for a strong defense posture? So we at IDSF take a two-pronged approach. Obviously, we need to be in constant communication with our leaders, whether they are leaders here in Israel or abroad, to make sure that the people who make decisions for national security, whether operational decisions on the ground in the war or diplomatic policy-related decisions, those people need to have the right information and the right mindset. And we work very hard to provide them with all of that. But national security is more than just the leaders, it's the people. Because if the people demand national security from their leaders, then the leaders will respond. And if the people understand what it means to prioritize issues of national security, then as a society, as a community, those issues are prioritized. So at IDSF, we spend a lot of time with our grassroots work. We have 40,000 members and growing here in Israel of grassroots members who subscribe to our ideology and very much look to us for leadership on these issues. And in addition to that grassroots movement, we are very active on the education front because the leaders of tomorrow, the informed citizens of tomorrow, are the students of today, and therefore our commanding officers, our leaders, our people with tremendous experience are speaking in educational institutions across Israel, from high schools to pre-army programs and beyond. And one such very special program is the pre-army program that we are building in Tekuma, which is right in the Gaza envelope. You stand in Tekuma and you can look into Gaza. And in Tekuma, we are building a pre-army program in order to inspire and educate next generation of leaders. It's a very special program. A part of the program is to take kids who really need the guidance and direction in life, bring them into our program, and not only give them the tools to succeed in life, but the tools to succeed and become leaders. So the pre-army program that we're starting is being named in memory of Omer Smadga, who was a brave warrior who fought and fell in Gaza. And I heard his parents speak today. I sat with them to learn about their son, to learn about them as a family and what it means for them to be, I think it's 11th generation here in Israel and defending the flag. And Omer Smadga, I believe, had a saying in life, and now they've taken this saying in Hebrew and it kind of appears all over the place. And the saying is to dare and not to be afraid to fail. That was something very important to Omer, that he was a person who had obstacles in life. Despite those obstacles, he dared to succeed, and he accomplished much in his short years on this earth. So I want to share with you right now just some words by Omer's mother, Liat. I sat down with her earlier today in Tekuma, and she speaks a little bit about her son and why it's meaningful to her that this pre-army academy is being named in her son's memory.
My name is Liat Smadga. I'm a wife of Omer Smadga. He's the first Olympic medalist for Israel ever from Barcelona '92. I'm a mother of 3 children. The oldest one is Omer. He was killed in Gaza on June 20 of June 24. I have another 2 children. Rom is now is a commander in the army. Is a detective in the army police. And my daughter Rotem, she's going to the army on April. She's going to be a sport instructor in the army. We live in Ganot Adar. It's a moshav in the Sharon area. When the war started on the 7th of October, and we understood immediately that war has broken, my son Omer got a call from from the army to come to the north border. This is where he was in the start. But before that, I want to explain a little bit about my son Omer, okay? I told you that he is our firstborn son. Immediately after we brought him home from the hospital, we understood that he had difficulties. He never slept, sleeping only 5 hours when he was a baby, and from a very young age, we understood he have a lot of difficulties, and we understand he have ADHD and learning disability. That's why we send him for a special school. For these children, if they study in special school, they cannot go to be a combat soldier. When he was 15, he started to volunteer in Magen David Adom, and this was the first time that he understand he have some meaningful for his life, and he can able to do things. Before that, only disappointed and failures. So this is I can say this is the start of his growing as a person. A year after that, he started to go to Achara Youth. It's a youth that prepare the children for the army. And he came home and he told me, "Mom, I want to be a combat soldier." But we understand because he have all his difficulties and the school that he was studying, that it's going to be a hard way to get there. So I told him, "Don't worry, we think what we need to do." And we realized that to go to a pre-academic school, it will be the best way for him to be a combat soldier. And this is what he done. He went to Echad Mishelanu, a pre-academic school, and he came to the army and told them, "So what if I have ADHD? So what if I have a learning disability?" I came from a family with deep roots. I myself, 11th generation in Israel. My father was an officer in the army, and he got injured in the army, and I was raised all the time in Bet Lochem, if you know what is Bet Lochem. So I know it from very close how it's to be a daughter of an injured soldier. Also, my brother was an officer in combat in the Lebanon war. He lost a lot of friends. So the army said, "Okay, if you done this pre-academic, and I see that, and we see that you're really in this goal, this is your goal to be a combat soldier, okay." So he drafted to Golani 51, make his 3 years. Also, in the middle of his army, he got a call from Ezer Mitzion that he found suitable to donate the bone marrow. So, of course, he said yes, because saving life and be a combat soldier was everything for him. This is the only thing he spoke about it. Even after the army, he said, "Okay, I want to be a doctor. I know I have a long way to do it, but I want to do it." So when he called again to Gaza, he was in the middle of the test for exams to reach this goal. So they called him again to Gaza, and I thought that after a lot of days of fighting, he will be tired and not motivation. But he said, "Mom, Dad, I'm going to bring our honor back home, and I'm going to release the hostages." So 2 weeks before he was killed, he was also took a part in saving the hostages, Noah Argamani and all the 3 guys, all the 3 men. And he was so proud. A few days before he was killed, he came home to Shavuot, and he told us that he saw motivation. And the night before we went back to Gaza, it was Sunday night, I heard him came home, and I saw him organize all his medic bag, and I helped him to do it, and I gave him a last hug. And this is the first time I knew that my son is not going to come back home. Yeah. I never felt like this at all. Not when he was in Golani 51, and not when he was in the north border, and not even the first day he went to Gaza. This was the first day that I understood this is going to be the last hug. And all this week I was so worried, and I spoke with paramedics from Alexandroni, and I told them, please keep him safe, put attention, what's going on. And the day after, received the call on my husband's birthday that our son was killed. And I immediately, of course, understood what this call mean. I myself, a casualty officer, also in the beginning of this war, this was my job to tell all the families that their loved one killed in the Nova. It's a very hard job, but I know everything in this job, so I understand immediately. And now I know, I thought to myself, how I'm going to my husband Oren in the middle of his birthday and tell him, please look at my eyes, we need to go back home, and be relaxed and do it not with stress, and tell everyone that we need to go and pay the bill and come back to our home to help us to continue this night. It was a terrible night for us, and of course since then all we think about it is how to make it to be with meaningful. So when Amir come to our house in the middle of the Shiva and told us about that the Bitronistim want to build a pre-academic school, and because Amir also know the story of Omer, I know his wife from Madda. We both volunteer in Madda. That's how Amir knows us. So immediately I said yes. I said yes because, first of all, I believe in Amir and I believe in the Bitronistim. This country needs only safety. We love Amir and our family, even my husband and me, all the time. The flag is what leads us. And second, this is going to be for the next generation. And we believe in this youth and these young people to continue to build this country and to be the next leaders or commanders.
Thank you to all of our viewers and supporters for tuning into this briefing. We will be back with you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. here in Israel. Until then, stay safe, stay strong. Take care, everyone.